Hello you guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Callie, and in this video today will be me and my mom and my two kids, Jovi and Sawyer, and we are dry canning. This was our first time doing this, and so we had fun. We learned along the way, and then we actually ended up figuring out at the very end that sugar and brown sugar, and I think maybe salt too. I need to check back. We are not experts. Do not come to this video and be like, oh yeah, they did it this way, so I must do it this way. This was our first time for all of us. We both enjoy regular canning, like canning vegetables and jellies, pickling, stuff like that, but we had never dry canned, and so I had just kind of looked up a simple process, which was fill up the jar. We started by sterilizing our lids and seals, and then we had the oxygen absorbers, and you kind of have to look up to figure out the strength of your oxygen absorber, how much air in the container it can absorb. So we just made sure to put a little extra than what it called for, just to be on the safe side. And I will say this actually worked really good. So we filled up things that we already had in our pantry that were either about to go bad or was just a little bit past the best by date, because you know best by dates are just a suggestion. It's not like your food's going to kill you if you eat it. So that's what they want you to think, though, so that you'll go back and buy it again and throw that out. It's crazy how marketing works. But anyway, we would fill it up just enough to have a little bit of room in the jar, and then put the oxygen absorbers on top. And the most tedious thing, I guess, would be once you open the oxygen absorbers, it is going to be the best to hurry up and get them in the jar and go ahead and get the seal on top and then put the lid on. And that itself will seal the jar. So that's the only thing you do. You fill your jar up with dry goods, throw in the appropriate amount of oxygen absorbers, put the seal on, screw the lid on, and you are good to go. So I will say this was very, what's the word? Why can I not think right now? I'm trying to think of the word that means like accomplished. There we go. It was very, like, you felt accomplished really fast. There's still a better word for that, but I just can't think of it right now. I'm drawing a blank. But regular canning, you know, it's a really long process. Really, for this, the only thing I had to do was sterilize the seals in the jars, and the rest was really fast. So we kind of had an assembly line of somebody filling, somebody taking note of what to do, like how to cook the food that's in there, and we just wrote that on the seals because we don't reuse the seals. So I don't think you're supposed to. Maybe some people do. I'm not really sure. But we just wrote it on the seal, like a 1-to-1 ratio of the water, or because brown rice and white rice cooks different. Like one takes more water than the other. So we wrote on there how to cook it, and then I will say one jar, in some of the jars we had dried milk, and that was something that we just went ahead and cut the directions off the back of the packet and then taped it to the jar. That way if we end up using it, then we know exactly how much to put with water to make the milk. So this is just a fun little weekend project. We wanted to find a way to preserve the food, but also just to know we had a little bit, you know, tucked back. And we're really excited because this summer we're planning a really big garden, and we plan to do a lot of preserving. We would love to be able to just grow and eat our own food that, we're growing ourselves and not buying from the store. But that is a very hard thing to do. So, especially whenever you're not an expert. We are not experts by any means of any of this. We're just trying, and then whenever we mess up, like we put oxygen absorbers in the sugar and the salt, and apparently you're not supposed to do that because it can make it like clump up, which I did not know, but I know that now. So I need to actually go back to the jars and take them out. But y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Apparently you can put brown sugar, any kind of salt in the jar and just put the seal and the lid on. And you don't have to do anything, and it will last for years. And years and years and years. Like, I think maybe, I don't know how long. Maybe indefinitely. I'm not sure. I have to double check on that. But anyways, this was super fun, and we felt very accomplished at the end. The kids got to help. They loved filling up the jars. And then they would take turns like throwing the oxygen absorbers in because they thought that was cool too. And yeah, it was just a fun little project for all of us. And the kids are actually, like, this is homeschooling to me. They're learning real life skills and learning how to preserve food, which is really important. I don't know of a ton of other 6 and 7 year olds that are excited to can food, but they felt so big, and like they just knew how to do this, so they were excited. This week's verse comes from Proverbs 14, verse 1, and it says that every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. And I just needed this little reminder this week to not be the foolish woman that is complaining or nagging or whatever the case may be, being unhappy with our household. To try my best to lift my family up and to point them closer to God and to bring my children closer to Jesus, to just by my actions and being patient. And that's a hard thing to do, but I'm going to try my best, and whoever else needed to hear this, I hope it serves you well. Y'all have a good week, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.